for a future perfect.
Hi, I'm Tony Velasquez. A local firm is making it easier to get into distance learning with a tablet and an online service provider. DIWA Learning Systems has partnered with Singapore's Marshall Cavendish Online and coupled that tie-up with a Windows tablet to make all of its learning resources accessible to students and teachers alike. Now, under the system, users can easily get their lesson plans, their tutorials and exercises for 5 major subjects: science, math, English, Filipino, and social studies. Sex education not yet included. Let's find out more now from Toots Policarpio. He's the Executive Director of the DIWA Learning Systems, and he's going to be joined by the company's product manager, Ana Paula Alipit. Toots and Ana, thanks very much for coming to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us here, Tony. Yeah.
Nice to be here.
Thank you, thank you. And so DIWA has been around since the 80s, I believe.
Yes, in fact, it's good you mentioned that. We're celebrating our 30th anniversary.
You don't look that old.
The company.
Not the company, not you, okay.
For like next year.
Next year,
so
30th na.
Yep.
DIWA started out producing educational materials, but in the traditional sense.
Yes, we actually started out producing the supplementary science magazines like the Bato Balani Science Magazine. I don't know if you've heard of that.
And a bit after my time na siguro.
And also the Salaginto Science Magazine. And, you know, I mean, luckily up to now, the magazines are still alive, and we've branched out into textbooks.
Yeah.
And recently, we've moved into the electronic medium. So now we're able to deliver our content electronically.
Yeah.
So
putting the E in education.
That's correct.
Well.
Yeah, tama yun.
I'll patent that slogan after the show. now, Ana, education has taken that electronic route because of the advent of more mobile forms of technology. The tablet being the more popular form factor now. But let me ask you, why did you go Windows? Because, well, I guess the logic would be that Apple sort of like launched the tablet craze with the iPad, but you didn't go the way of the iPad, did you?
That wasn't one of the major concerns was that our main electronic product, which is our Genio e-learning, runs best on Internet Explorer.
Okay.
By default, Internet Explorer only runs on Windows.
Right.
So there.
Yes. That would be a problem.
Right.
Okay, so it's pronounced Genio because it's spelled G-E-N-Y-O,
That's
not
correct.
Genio. It's Genio.
Genio.
Okay, great. Now, the Genio system, that was developed by DIWA as a proprietary e-learning system?
That's correct. That's correct. But actually, it's a partnership. It's a collaboration between Marshall Cavendish of Singapore and DIWA Learning Systems of the Philippines. So essentially what we have now is a system wherein it provides students in schools content, interactive multimedia content online for the 5 key subject areas.
Yes.
Science, math, English, Araling Panlipunan, and Filipino.
And as I said, sex education not yet included.
Not yet included.
So Marshall Cavendish online produces some of the modules. What is the role exactly of the service provider? Yeah.
Well, essentially, Marshall Cavendish has what we call a learning management system. It's actually right now being used in like a majority or 65% of all schools in Singapore. What we've done is we've used that learning management system, put in our own content, customized the sequence, the scope and sequence of the lessons to suit the Philippine curriculum.
Okay. So is it like a template that Marshall Cavendish designed and that you could customize based on your, say, particular setting, like Philippines?
Yes, yes. It's, well, there's a certain term they use. The contents are SCORM compliant.
SCORM.
SCORM, S-C-O-R-M.
What does that stand for?
Stands for Shareable Content Object Reference Material. Essentially what that means, it's a standard. It's modules. I mean, these are materials which can be interchanged, mixed and matched, and it could be customized in whatever way or whatever form. That's the beauty of the system.
Right.
That's why we're able to, use that here in the Philippines as well.
So you license that from Marshall Cavendish.
That's correct.
And you put it under your trademark name, which is
Genio.
Right. Genio. Okay. You brought with you a netbook, I suppose, some way of also telling us or showing us how you can download the modules?
Right. This is actually a tablet.
Sorry, the tablet itself, not the
It is.
netbook.
It's a tablet.
Yeah, it's the it's an
Acer,
you work
yeah.
specifically with an Acer Iconia
For this
Yeah,
particular project,
W500,
yes.
because right now in the market, this is the only one that has
The Windows.
that runs.
That runs
Windows.
on Windows.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can you demonstrate something?
So
How it runs?
So again, Genio e-learning, it's an online management system. So you need to be connected to the internet to access it. So we provide our schools with their own login, school ID, and then password. And then once they log in, they'll be able to see all the subject areas. For the teachers, they'll be able to see all the subject areas. For, let's say, if you're a grade school teacher, you'll see all the subjects, and then content for all the levels. You'll see there it's divided per subject area and then per level.
Okay.
And then
before we go deeper into the content, I just first have to clear up. The schools that you provide the DIWA learning system to, they have to provide for their own internet connectivity, right?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Yes and no. Okay. So yes, because
well, if they have ample internet connection on
like
the
broadband,
broadband,
speed,
then it's fine. But
fine.
however, we do provide solutions which include internet connectivity for the school.
I see. So it can be a package already.
Yes,
You can
it's
provide
a turnkey package or
right.
whatever. Yeah.
Okay, Anna. Sorry for interrupting.
So once they log into the system, they'll be able to see all the subject areas divided already per level. And then, for example, you're a science teacher, you can just go through the system, and then you'll see already, you'll be given all the content for the 5 subject areas.
Yeah.
And then the contents are divided. You can have animation for, you can have animations for tutorial, and then you can have your activity, and then you can have your quiz after.
So the teachers themselves don't have to produce the lesson plans, right? Because it's already
yes,
packaged.
prepackaged. Yes, that's
and they just have to apply it to a classroom situation.
Yep.
Right. So depending on...
Can they modify the lesson plan?
Yes.
Yes, they can
Yes. That's the
customize
beauty
those
of it. You know, they have an existing standard package. Now, if they feel that the package that they have is appropriate or enough, then it's fine. But if they feel it's not enough yet, they can customize, they can add on, and they can create their own.
Do they have to get some sort of, by way of asking for, your permission from DIWA?
Not necessarily, because the system has what we call an authoring tool, which allows the teachers to create lesson plans, create tests, create tutorials, and whatnot.
Okay. But they'd have to be responsible for the accuracy of what they're doing, right? I mean,
of course.
I mean, we're all very much aware about errors in textbooks and all that stuff, and you don't want that proliferating in your system, right?
Of course.
Once they make those corrections, does that actually get shared with other schools or other teachers?
No, the system allows for a particular school, whatever the teachers create in that school is only accessible or limited to that particular.
Because you have a login.
Yeah.
So you can only access within the system, intra-system lang.
That's correct.
Okay. So what else did they find out? I mean, that's from the teacher's point of view, right? They were showing us, Anna.
Right, yeah. And then they're given something like this. This is an animated...
exam? Right.
Right, this is an animated tutorial, and then this is about like a skeletal muscular system. So this they assign to their students. So let's say they're studying the skeletal system. The students will be able to access this, and they'll be able to view this on their own.
This is a very timely tutorial because it's about Halloween.
Right, exactly.
And also very politically correct because it's about skeletons in your closet. Fantastic. I mean, look at that. So it's teaching you about the human skeletal.
Yeah. If their lesson, for example, for the next day is about the skeletal system, the teacher can give this as a homework, and then the student can access it at home. So again, it's online. So when the students are at home,
They need
have the
internet connectivity again at home. You have to assume that these students have internet connectivity at home.
Yes, but you know, I mean, more and more internet connectivity is getting to be more, how do you call that? Ubiquitous. No,
Okay.
it's getting to be, it's not as expensive as before.
That's why they said it should be guaranteed as a basic human right now.
It
for
should be.
every
It
person to
should
have
be.
an internet
It should
connection.
be, yeah.
All right, so that's a tutorial or a lesson.
Yes.
Okay, and then afterwards you have to have a quiz, right?
Right.
So how
Yeah.
does the quiz look like?
Here's what, yeah.
So I learn about my tibula, my femur,
Yeah.
you know, the neck bone connected to the
Right.
ball
Eye bone.
stuff like that. Yeah.
So here you go. This is a sample activity.
Yeah.
So there's you have to drag,
Mhm.
like this particular activity, you need to identify which one has an outside skeleton, the animal with no skeleton, or an animal with an inside skeleton.
So,
It's a drag and
so
So
drop
you can just
kind of
drag
thing.
and drop.
vertebrate.
Right.
Yes.
Then,
Oh, that's kind of advanced, you know, for
You know,
kids. You know, I only
I mean,
started learning about that stuff yesterday.
I am impressed. You remember your science
I
lesson.
only graduated high school yesterday.
and then it's only going to allow the picture to stay if you get it right.
If it's right. Otherwise, the box or the
Yeah, it's
window
gonna
rejects it.
it's just
Right.
gonna flip back to where
Yeah.
it usually.
Okay,
the original.
that looks like fun. I hope my floor director tries that out later.
See, if you notice, you know, I mean, all the games, I mean, all the activities are like
games.
game-based,
They're,
which makes it
Makes
more
it fun.
interesting and fun
Yeah.
to do. So, you know, you keep the students' attention more.
Now tell me, when did you launch this DIWA e-learning system, and how many schools have already signed up?
Great. Well, frankly, we've started in this e-learning thing like 10 years ago.
10 years
But it was more of a hit and miss kind
But
of thing.
you were CD-based.
Yes,
Like
it was
distributing it through
CD-based, and then we went on to like local network server-based, and then finally, like 4 or 5 years ago, we were able to get this online thing. No? So now what we're delivering is Genio version 5,
Ah,
which is now an online subscription model.
okay.
So you just subscribe, and you know, I mean, we give you an access, and that's it. So
And you download the modules.
actually, you don't actually download it; you just
Yeah.
access it online.
Ah, it's online. All
Yeah.
right. So everything is web-based.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And so you don't have to install it on the tablet itself.
Nope.
Nothing is
nope.
installed in the
All you
tablet.
need is a web browser, like Internet Explorer in this instance.
Yeah. All you need is a web browser, specifically Internet Explorer.
No, but that's going to change pretty soon, because right now, in the works, is our Genio Android version. Yan
See?
na.
You're still
Malapit
ignoring
na.
the iPad.
No, but you see,
Steve Jobs is rolling over in his grave.
no, but there's certain, how they call this, concerns about moving into
Developing an app.
Yes, because it's
For the iPad.
really, it's highly proprietary, and you know, it makes it kind of difficult to.
So you want a free and open source
Yep.
system
Yep.
like Android.
Yep, that's
All
correct.
right.
That's correct.
Well, that's great. So how many schools have signed up for it?
As of school year 11-12,
Yeah.
we're close to about 100 schools have already subscribed.
School year 2011, 2012.
12, which is the
Okay.
current
Yeah.
year now.
How many?
Close to 100 schools already,
Nationwide.
nationwide.
And a majority of those, are they in Luzon? Or they're
Well,
spread out?
They're spread out across the archipelago.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, we have schools far up north in
Tuguegarao.
Tuguegarao.
Hmm.
We have schools or subscribers.
Private schools, obviously.
Private schools, yeah, mostly. Down south, General Santos. We have a school in Polomolok in South Cotabato, and of course they're bunched in between.
Yeah. Now I have a question. I don't know if you find this a little bit weird that I ask you this, but of course you rely on electricity to power everything. Like you charge these gadgets, you
Yeah.
rely on your internet to run on the electricity. What if you're like in an area where you know you're flooded or you've just been hit by a calamity, you don't have power? What happens to these devices?
Well,
Have you encountered a situation like that before?
well, obviously these things won't run without power.
Yeah.
So, well,
Is
but
there a backup or something? No.
well, the content is backed up. So when the power comes back, then you can get back to where you left off.
Okay. So otherwise, without the power and without the power to run these devices.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's
They
where we
ground
are.
to a halt.
Yeah, that's where we are right now.
So you're just faced with that. You know, that's one of the limitations of the system as well.
For now, yeah, yeah. But of course, since it's pretty new, so we're actually focusing on or giving priority to areas who have sufficient infrastructure.
Okay.
Yeah.
What has the government been saying about your program? Well, you've been around for 30 years. You've had a track record in providing, these education modules. But now that you're into e-learning with these tablets, with the tablet, not these tablets, with the tablet, has the government somehow shown any inclination to get your ideas and apply it to the public school system?
Well, frankly, there's been a lot of initiatives from the government to move into the electronic medium to e-learning. But
they're trying it with the e-Rizal tablet.
Yes, yeah. But right now we have not seen any comprehensive policy or direction that would move into that. But of course, there's been areas, spots of initiatives,
Because I wonder if eventually the DepEd would say, we've got to standardize all of these e-learning modules, right? I mean, you can't have Genyo going on its own track and then the DepEd teaching kids another track. So something somewhere has to meet in the middle, right?
Well, actually, what we would want or would be very much willing to happen is we work with government. I mean,
but you've never done that before, right?
Well, not
except for distributing the Batabalani and Salaginto.
Yes. What I'd like to happen very straightforwardly is we work with government because we in the private sector we have the resources, the expertise, the distribution, and everything else, and then we'd very much like to help out in the improvement of education by providing these services to government.
Now, if there are other private schools, aside from the 100 that you already have in your customer base, who want to contact you, who do they call and where do they call?
They can always log on to our site. It's www.genyo.com.ph.
Okay.
All details are there. Our telephone numbers are 893-8501.
All right. And then you discuss the rates, the packages that you can offer them. There are different packages that you can offer them.
That's correct.
And also helping them out with the internet connectivity, as you said, right?
Yep. Including hardware, like this tablet here.
Okay. So when the kids go to school, do they have to pay for the use of the tablets?
Oh, no.
They pay a fee to the school?
Not
indirectly to you, to DIWA?
Well, the students essentially pay a subscription fee. And then,
part of the tuition.
Yes, and then with that, they'll have access now to all of the resources.
Is there a uniform rate that they pay the kids?
Well, it kind of varies.
Per school?
Yeah, per school.
It varies per school. Is there an average that you can mention, just how much they pay for the kids?
Well, there's an average, maybe 2,500 or 2,600.
Per what? Per grading period?
No, per year.
Per year.
For all of the 5 subjects already. So that
sounds pretty economical, huh? Yeah. I wish I were a kid all over again. Who knows? This time around I might pass math. Toots and Anna, thank you very much for coming to Future Perfect. Good luck to your next 30 years in the business.
Oh, wow.
And
thank you.
We're looking forward to the Android version of your Genyo learning system.
As soon as it gets in, maybe we could drop by and
come back.
You're always welcome on Future Perfect.
Great.
All the more welcome if you also come up with an iPad version.
So we'll keep that in mind.
It will run on my antiquated iPad 1. Thank you again.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks, Tony.
E-learning systems. Now, coming up next, the makers of the hit Asus Transformer tablet unveil their latest offering, one that doesn't require you and one of our writers to buy an extremely hard-to-find keyboard dock to type away to your heart's content.